Welcome to Walker Upwards podcast. My name is Rachel, and this is a podcast where we step behind the veil and take a look at some long lost and little known spooky stories and urban legends. Guys, it's time to write your wills and kiss your family and friends goodbye because we're taking a trip to places we maybe shouldn't be visiting. Pelham Township is a beautiful wooded area on Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania. The population was 5,921 at the 2020 census. Founded in 1739, it was the first township in the area, and it originally included the entirety of York and Adams counties. Fire department services are provided jointly by the Hallam and Wrightsville Fire Departments, located in the boroughs of Hallam and Wrightsville. The Mifflin House, an Underground Railroad site in the township dating to the 1700s, was used by the Mifflin family in the 19th century to hide freedom seekers and ferry them across the Susquehanna River on their way to Philadelphia. The house was sold into the Huber family in 1856, who sold it to the Blessing family in 1959. As of May 2017, the property was at risk of demolition for development of a business park. By December 2017, a funding campaign was started to help pay for a legal challenge to save the property, reportedly eligible to be listed on the National Register of Historic Places. Pelham Township is another of the many small towns where big stories have appeared, urban legends that sprang up from telling tales around the fire on long, cold winter nights. In a wooded area just off of Trout Run Road, an insane asylum reportedly stood. This asylum apparently housed people who were too insane to live in this world. It burned down in the 1900s, and many of the patients perished in the blaze. In order to try and capture and contain those who remained, a search party constructed 6 gates. One, which still remains, can be found in the area. The legend says that if you walk them in the right order, on walking through the 7th and final gate, because there was a gate right at the front of the property as well, which was classed as the first gate, you would find yourself face to face with the devil himself. As with many urban legends, there are several versions of this tale, all with vaguely similar details. A doctor who lived in the area constructed the gates in order to discourage visitors. He built 6 other gates along the path through the woods. Apparently only one of the gates is visible during daylight, while the other 6 appear once night has fallen. The one detail about the story that seems to remain the same through each different variation was that if you reached the 5th gate and walked through it, you would never be seen again. Another story about the gates of hell is of a man in the 1950s who murdered his wife and children with a shotgun and impaled their corpses on the spikes of one of the gates. Before the house was torn down, bullet holes were visible in the garage door and in the wall on the side of the house where the garage door was located. If you do decide to visit Pennsylvania's 7 gates, be aware that they are on private property and the owners don't like people wandering around. We're not finished yet, we never are, because there's another series of apparent gates to hell located in Collinsville, Illinois. Known as the horseradish capital of the world, Collinsville is located on the outskirts of St. Louis. As of the 2020 census, a little under 25,000 people call this town home. Monk's Mound, the largest prehistoric earthworks in the Americas, is located in Collinsville. Along with 70 smaller surviving mounds, Monk's Mound is larger at its base than the Great Pyramid of Giza. Oh, and the world's largest catsup bottle is located here as well. But what about the town's reported 7 gates of hell? Starting on Lebanon Road in the west of the town, you'll find yourself weaving beneath 7 disused railway bridges. These concrete structures are left over from the area's mining industry. The story goes that if you pass through them in the correct order, with the 7th one being at midnight, you will find a portal opening up and hellhounds awaiting you. But don't run, because those hounds will chase you. Unlike Pelham County's 7 gates, the ones located in Collinsville each has a tale to tell. Constructed in the late 1800s, although image searches of them make them look a lot more recent, these bridges have become the start of countless tales of hangings, occult rituals, and all kinds of weird and wonderful stories. While Gate 1 appears to have no legends attached to it, Gate 2 has several variations of the same dark and morbid story. One tells the story of a young African-American child being chased through the wooded area by the KKK, who eventually hangs him from the gate. There are conflicting reports about this even among law websites. Other stories say that the young man was killed by a friend for the love of a girl. Others still claim the young man hanged his friend and in a moment of regret hanged himself. Whatever the reason, it is said that around midnight you can see a young boy swaying in the wind hanging from the gate. Some believe he waits there in order to wave you through to the next gate. Gates 3 and 4 are located on Long High Road and are commonly known as the Twin Gates due to their proximity to one another. Generally considered to be the creepiest of the gates, many people have reported feeling sick and cold when there. They have also had a sense that they were being watched, which, considering these are the gates that are apparently linked with satanic rituals, is unsurprising. One driver said that they pulled over between gates 3 and 4 because they could hear another car coming. However, after several minutes, no car appeared. In November 2008, a photograph taken at Gate 4 showed what appeared to be a demonic face captured in smoke. Apparently there are several transient ghosts and spirits which lurk in the area, including the photograph spirit, which is reported to be unfriendly and will chase away people who accidentally step into the area on ritual nights. Other spirits include the aforementioned hellhounds and a mysterious black car, which also likes to chase away unsuspecting visitors. Maybe the person who heard the ghostly car was an unsuspecting witness to that one. According to a 2015 Huffington Post report, the body of a Jane Doe was found in the area of Gate 4 in July 1990. The unknown woman was found bound with several cuts and stab wounds to her neck and torso. Her fallopian tubes, uterus and ovaries were also missing. According to the Satanic calendar, her murder occurred during the time of Grand Climax. This is a satanic holiday that spans several weeks where women and children are abducted and ritually sacrificed. No defensive wounds were found and the body appeared to have been dumped in the field. Given the urban legends surrounding the Seven Gates of Hell and Satanism, could one of these places have been the original murder site? Gates 5 and 6 appear to have no stories attributed to them. Gate 7, however, is located on the outskirts of the neighbouring town of Troy, and some people jokingly say that Troy itself is in fact hell. Once you pass through this gate at the stroke of midnight, a portal is said to open and you can drive straight into hell. Failing that, the legend says that you are to turn around and drive through the gates in reverse order, where at Gate 1 you will be met by the aforementioned hellhounds. There are currently conflicting reports that gates 3 and 4 are blocked off, whether this is because of the incredibly sharp turn leading to gate 3 or for other stranger reasons no one knows. So if you do go out there, be prepared to maybe park up and go through gates 3 and 4 on foot, and maybe leave a little something for whichever spirits are lingering in that area. Again, the story isn't over. Yet, it never is. Because there's another bridge in the area. This one isn't a gate to hell, but it does have an interesting story to go with it. Also on Lebanon Road, but about as far as you can get from the Seven Gates, is the Acid Bridge. This concrete structure stretches over Silver Creek and is adorned with graffiti so colourful you can see it on Google Satellite View. Names, phone numbers, social media usernames and strange images are painted onto this little stretch of the road. As with the Seven Gates, Acid Bridge is also reported to be an area of paranormal and occult activity, and those passing through have mentioned seeing cloaked groups and individuals in the area. Others have said that they felt uneasy as they've crossed the bridge, while someone else mentioned that they parked at the bridge and the following morning found child's handprints in the dust on their paintwork. As with the gates, there are several tales associated with this bridge too. The first is of an 8-year-old girl who sits on the bridge staring out into the woods. The little girl supposedly died in a car accident that happened on the bridge. The second story is one of a phantom car that chases off unsuspecting trespassers. When visitors stop on the bridge, the phantom's car's headlights can be seen driving towards the bridge. When the trespassers flee from the bridge, the phantom car chases them for about a mile and then suddenly disappears. Another popular tale about the bridge is of the death of a teenager. One night a group of teenagers were partying on the bridge. One of them produced a gun and started shooting. A bullet ricocheted, striking one of the teenagers in the head and killing him. The spirit of the teenager is believed to be just one of many that now haunt the bridge. There are bullet holes in the bridge, which has led to some people to believe that this story is true. And when it comes to the stories of occult activity, well, a local paranormal research association had this to say. There are also claims of people being seen standing in the woods or along the banks of the creek staring at people who have stopped on the bridge. Torchlights have been seen moving through the woods and the entire bridge has been set on fire more than once. There are also unconfirmed rumours of abductions, rape and murders that have happened in the woods and under the bridge. If you get out onto the bridge, stay close to your car, as there have been reports of people climbing into vehicles and hiding in the back seat. There are, of course, numerous other gates to hell around the world, and maybe one day we'll pay them a visit. But until next time, don't stop on or under any bridges, will you? Thank you for listening. If you've enjoyed this tale and like your books a little on the weird side, please do feel free to visit our website at www.roswellpublishing.co.uk. And until next time, stay spooky.